Okay, this is my weekly check-in for the 28th of December 2020. So, I'm kind of tired. I'm just going to get right into it. What were my 3 wins this week? So, my first one was setting up my website and YouTube channel. Second was starting my exercise routine, which is super minimal right now, but I'm still really happy to get it started. And then my third was calling a bunch of family on Christmas. That's something that gives me anxiety, but I was glad I did it. Okay, how am I feeling about my keystone goal and future self? So I'm feeling really good about it overall. I'm ready now after taking like the last week and a half or so a step back, somewhat intentionally, somewhat unintentionally. And now I feel like ready and motivated to kick back into high gear. And I'm feeling really good about living an intentional life as my keystone goal. And I feel like I see and I'm feeling confident in how that connects to my long-term future self. And I'm excited to do more stuff to feel like I'm connected to my future self, and like keep that strong. So what were my weekly goals for the past week, and did I accomplish them? My number one eat the frog goal for the past week was to create my website, YouTube channel, and an email to go along with it, and then to post my first weekly check-in video and blog post, and also to announce it on my social media. So I did all of that except for the social media. I decided to leave that until New Year's Eve, which is partway through this next week, and then use that time to build up and add some parts that I think will make the purpose of the website clearer to people, if anyone actually uses it. And then my other weekly goals, my other 2 big ones, were to start an exercise habit and then to start a mental health skills practice habit. I did start the exercise habit, as I mentioned before. I didn't start the mental health practice habit. I looked at the DBT skills workbook, and I decided that I didn't want to pick stuff out of there piecemeal, and that I think it would be more productive to just go through the book as it was intended. And then once I've done it, then I can just do whatever exercise they recommend for a routine. And also, I wasn't honestly emotionally / motivationally ready to do that at the point in the week that I let it get to. I procrastinated on it, and then by the time I finally got to looking at it, I was like, oh, I don't want to do that this week or that night. And then of my lesser goals or planned ways to use my time, I set up my new desk, and I finished reading the Taltosh series of fantasy novels, and then I'm almost done with the Southern Reach trilogy, which I'm going to finish tonight, and then that's going to be the end of my sort of unrelated pleasure reading. So what worked well this week was doing the Eat the Frog thing. I set up my website and YouTube channel and posted my first weekly check-in by Tuesday, so the first full day of my week, and that felt really good. I felt like I'd already won the week, and also doing it so quickly didn't give me any time for anxiety to build up or to procrastinate on it. What can I improve this week? So the thing I really noticed was that my sleep schedule further degenerated this week. I was up really late reading a couple nights, but then I compounded that by listening to podcasts even later into the night, and then the nights that I wasn't reading, I was just listening to even more hours of podcasts. And so I'd like fall asleep on the couch listening to podcasts and then finally get up and go to sleep. And I ended up that way, like staying up till like 4 or 5 most nights. So that's clearly, like, listening to podcasts at the end of my night is clearly a path to like completely disrupting my sleep schedule. So that's something I need to not do. And now switching to my goal setting for the next week. My number one, like, Eat the Frog goal for the week is to launch the more full version of my website on New Year's Eve. So that has a bunch of sub goals. I've broken it up into. So one is to create a post and video. I'm just going to say post, but I mean like post and video for all of them, about my future self. And then another post about what my current keystone goal is and explaining it. And then a third post explaining what the purpose and what I'm hoping to get out of having the channel and website. Another post about talking about where I've started from and what my progress has been so far. And then create a daily accountability section that'll post real brief nightly check-ins to and what my goals for the day are. And then create sections and detail where I'm starting from for each of my routines. So that's going to be like what my routine currently is, and then if it's applicable, as well as like what I'm hoping to get, what the purpose of the routine is, and then what if it's applicable, like ways of measuring it, my progress, and what that progress will be. How often I'll be measuring. So like for some of those, it's not really relevant. Like with meditation, I'm just going to put like what it is, what I want to get out of it. But with, for example, stretching, I'm going to put what my like current routine is, but also where, like, what my current flexibility is. I'm going to measure it, and then how often I'm going to be measuring that going forward. And then I'm going to upload my Toolkit 0.1 with a little explanation of what that project is. And then I'm going to do the announcement on New Year's Eve on my 3 social media accounts, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So then what will my 2 other wins be for the week? It's going to be, one of them is organizing my laptop and files. And so that's going to consist of backing up or moving files to my external hard drive, creating a separate work user that only has the appropriate apps and files on it, delete files that I don't need anymore or that are going to be distractions. And then the second major goal is going to be to like level up and further commit to my daily routine and goals. So that I've listed out like 4 parts for that. So one's going to be eliminating the podcasts that have been kind of kicking my ass this week. So eliminating all parasocial podcasts, and then defining what my acceptable podcasts are, and creating like clear limits and rules around when and how much I can listen to them. Also eliminate pleasure reading that's irrelevant to my interests, even if it's pleasurable, and take all the books that fall into that category and box them up, get them out of my bedroom, and move them store them for a while probably, and then eventually I'm going to get rid of them. I'm hoping to sell them to Powell's, but I don't think they're doing that right now because of the pandemic, so that's why I'm going to hold on to them for now. And if that doesn't work out, I'll eventually get rid of them some other way. And then the other 2 parts are about committing to my 5:30 a.m. wake up and immediate sort of focusing, visualizing my future self, like motivational routine at the very beginning of the morning. And then creating and committing a little nightly routine that has a nightly check-in, and I'm not sure what else. and it's getting me to bed on time. So 10:30 at the latest, and shooting for 8:30 every night. And then finally, do I have any minor goals or time sucks or anything else I'm planning for the week? I don't. This is gonna be a pretty full week, I think, with all the stuff I want to do. So yeah, and then if I do finish early, I'll just move on to other important stuff. So I'll probably eliminate that question category going forward. We'll see, or change it so it's more useful. So that is my weekly check-in for December 28th.